chapter 9, right? Okay, so juggling the right amount of projects, enterprise level process, project viability model, project selection and process level, and then seeing for yourself, right? Okay, so today is actually sort of a theoretical session. It's not about, Six Sigma calculation, all that. And before that, I just wanted to I have stopped the presentation because I wanted to have a face-to-face discussion with you. Now, every business is a set of interconnected functions. How many of you agree with that? I'll start with that. Type agree in the chat box. Point number one. You can call function, or some people call it department. Okay. The second is every function is a network of interconnected processes. How many of you agree with me? Super agree with me. Okay. A function or a department is a set of interconnected processes. Okay. The third point that I want to share here is a process is a set of interconnected activities. How many of you agree with me? And every activity is associated with time and motion, TM. Okay. So I'll quickly recap whatever that I said. Business is a network of interconnected functions or departments, and a function is a network of interconnected processes. A process is a network of interconnected activities, and every activity is associated with time and motion. The reason that I gave this picture here is something is broken somewhere because of which we are not able to meet the customer requirement. And what is the customer requirement? All of you type PQCD in the chat box. PQCD. The customer wants the right products, the best-in-class quality, the affordable cost or the value for money, and the timely delivery. PQCD, products, quality, cost, delivery. If you agree with me, type agree or super agree with me, right? And if you are able to satisfy this customer, okay, then your business results are good. And the business result, I will name it as GPS. All of you type GPS in the chat box, not the global positioning system, but the direction shown by growth, profits, and sustainability. So the growth, profit, and sustainability, if there is a problem in the growth, or if the problem in the profitability, or if there is a problem in sustainability, it means that you are not delivering to the customer to his satisfaction one of the four, right? Products, quality, cost, or delivery. Okay. If you don't satisfy the customer in any one of the things, you don't give him the right product, you don't give him the best of quality, you don't give him value for money, or you don't give the timely delivery, you've got a problem with the customer, right? And hence your business suffers. Now, what we do here is we identify what is that challenge or a bottleneck or a problem or a constraint, whatever that you might call, which is actually creating disturbance to the customer, which is making customer dissatisfied, which is eventually affecting the growth, profits, and sustainability of organization. So we do a diagnostic study and identify, as a master black belt, we do a diagnostic study and identify the problems. Problems are converted to projects. Okay. So P to P, all of you type P to P, problems are converted. So far, whatever that I've said, if it is clear, if it is interesting, useful, valuable, fantastic, whatever that you felt, put it in the chat box. Now I'll open up the presentation and proceed with the session today. Because I don't write, today is going to be a little bit of, theoretical stuff. And that is why, I wanted to give you this background. Okay. Juggling the right amount of projects. No formula exists for how many Six Sigma projects a company should have. Okay. Okay. Thank you, each and every one of you, for this amazing. But a well-designed projects are more likely to make greater impact than a poorly designed, overlapping, unfunded projects. Okay, so how do we make well-designed projects? How do we identify the problems? How do you convert the problems to projects and do all that is something that we will discuss deeply today. Now, 3 basic criteria for project start. What are these 3? Okay, organization should only start the project if they can fund it. How many of you agree with me? because project also needs some funding. Okay, Six Sigma projects need money, so the companies should choose the project based on the budget. Okay. Second is required people to be given, required resources to be given. How many of you agree with this? Okay. How many of you can relate to this? They start the project, but they don't give proper resource, right? If you can relate to this, type ICR. I can relate in the chat box. Six Sigma projects needs employee at all levels. Companies shouldn't start too many projects at once, especially if they don't have the key people like IT staff, director of compliance. Overloading employees can lead to burnout, low morale, poor quality, and all that stuff. Right? And the third thing is you should be able to manage the projects well. If you agree with me, type agree in the chat box. Project teams need a good leadership. Six Sigma teams usually led by black belts with green belts helping data. An experienced black belt can handle more than one project. Awesome. So three things which is important. That is why we need a sponsor for funding. We need sponsor who can provide resources like people, and then we need project leaders, okay, who can manage the projects well. Okay, so enterprise level selection process. Let's see how it is selected at an enterprise level. When companies are working to apply Six Sigma culture to the entire enterprise, executive leaders and other decision makers should work directly with Six Sigma experts. Okay, identify improvement opportunities and launch projects. So let me give you the 5-step procedure for identifying viable Six Sigma improvement projects. 5-step procedure. Number 1, data-based review of current organization. Okay, all of you type DBDM, data-based decision making. So we generally do the potential brainstorming. Okay, we generally do the potential brainstorming. What is the third one? The third one is apply some basic criteria to shorten the list, create a unique business criteria, and use the business criteria to prioritize the project list. So I will tell you all this. I will also give you the list of criteria. I will also help you to create your unique business criteria, and then we will use this criteria with some sort of a ranking and weightage to prioritize the projects. Are you ready? Just type ready in the chat box. Number 1, data-based review of the current organization. And you have to pardon with me because today will be a sort of little theoretical. There are no Six Sigma, statistics involved today. But it's also very important from the leadership point of view. Okay, in reviewing internal, external information, organizations should ask what type of things are customers and employees complaining about. How many of you agree with it? Because when you want to select the problem, this is one area. Customer complaint is something that you can look at, right? The second is, where is organization falling short of benchmark or competitive performance? Okay, this is when you see something is below benchmark or competitive performance, this can potentially be a project. Okay, any other thing? I have given you 2 things. You can look at customer complaints and you can convert into projects, those problems into projects. You can look at competitive performance or benchmark and you can convert it into projects. Any other ideas I want to see in the chat box? Before I open up, I want to see in the chat box. Let's see. How do you create projects? I've given 2 pointers. You can think of something else and type it in the chat box. I want to see your thought process here. Which data can potentially give you the opportunity to select projects? And also competitors' performance benchmark is the second one. Any other thing? I'll give you another 10 seconds. If people process control charts, out of control process also, bottleneck in the process, quality issues, market opportunities, okay, employee attritions, market dynamics, okay, breakdowns, machine breakdowns, okay, budget fallout on budget, okay, excellent. Good, a lot of participation today. Let me look at what all is given here. What needs do customers have that organization is not meeting? You have already given that. What needs might customer have in the near future? Forecasting the customer requirement, right? And somebody has also said defects, right? What process are outputting most defects? Where are the defects coming most? What process have most reworks? what process are inefficient, slow, expensive and stuff like that, and what process obstacle. Somebody talked about bottlenecks, right? So all of you give a big pat on your shoulders. Okay, you've all done well. All your points are mostly covered here. Okay, thank you very much for your active participation. Yeah, if you've done well, just give it a thumbs up in the chat box. Okay, and so the second one is, so these are the things that potentially you take the data out of these things, and then which gives you potential to take some projects, right? Great. Yeah, zero defect programs also very good. All right, now next the answers. Now you have to brainstorm and describe the potential project. Okay, answers to the question in step 1, that is the previous slide. Create a list of projects, and then what the customers that complain about. We can actually take surveys, feedbacks, with unhappy customers, and a project to speed up the delivery, a project to improve quality, a project to enhance service. Somebody is talking about why PQCD, right? It can be SQCD, service quality, cost and delivery also. Okay, so if brainstorm and describe the potential projects and come up with the metrics like quality, cost, delivery, service, etc., etc. If this is clear, type SC, super clear, in the chat box. Let's move to the third one, apply some basic criteria. Once you have the list of possible projects, we have criteria. I will tell you how to arrive at criteria. Okay. So first, remove those items where there are no real problem, because sometimes, you need evidence to prove that there is a. So if the expected state and the desired expected state and the current state are same, then there is nothing to improve. If your target weight is 80 kgs, you are already 80 kgs and nothing to improve, right? So remove where there is no real problem. For example, if only one employee complains about inefficiency, don't think that's a problem, right? And remove issues with obvious problems or solutions. For example, many of us in many companies I've seen, we all know the solutions, but because due to various reasons, they have not acted on the solutions for many, many years or months. Okay. But then suddenly you know the solution, but don't create that as a project. Okay. How many of you can relate to what I'm saying? They know the solution and they just, write it as a project now, because it's just to do it type of a solution, right? How many of you can relate to this type? ICR in the chat box. What I'm trying to say here is, we know the problem exists. We also know the solution. But then when the whole Six Sigma comes up, they try to fit in the framework and try to propose a solution. They already know the solution. So don't create a project out of such things, okay? Good, good, good. A lot of you can relate to this, right? So for example, if the vendor said that the material was faulty and provided a solution, the company needs to act. Don't, really propose this as a project, okay? The third one is unique business criteria. Okay, all of you type UBC in the chat box. This is very, very important, UBC. What is UBC? Unique business criteria. Everybody should have a unique business criteria. After removing the projects that don't fix Six Sigma teams, they have to have a unique, narrow down on the list. Business criteria usually includes, what is a unique business criteria? I will share with you. Wait a minute. I'll pause the chat box. Okay. And the business criteria usually include cost, profit, impact on customer satisfaction and urgency and stuff like that. Okay. So the team might ask questions like, how will the improvement affect profit, orders or income? What savings will the improvement create? If the problem getting worse quickly, or can we fix it? Is the problem getting worse quickly or can we fix it? How much will the improvement cost? How many employees or hours will the improvement need? What resources are needed for improvement? So these are some of the questions team might ask. Okay, and then based on which we will evolve the unique business criteria. I'll give you examples of that also. If this is clear on a, give me type CC, crystal clear in the chat box. So asking these questions, you can translate them into, cost related, profit, impact on customer certification, etc. Okay. Good. Thank you very much. Let me move to the next slide since this is clear. So 5 is use the business criteria list to prioritize the projects. Okay. To make sure that we work on the most important projects, the team should use the business criteria list. Okay. And for example, we can use the following criteria to rank the potential savings, potential cost, potential increase in revenue, availability of access, and we can create a matrix. Okay. If this is clear, type SC super clear in the chat box. And how many of you want to a sheet where I will share with you a template for this? Type want in the chat box if you want it. I think I have it. Let me check once so that I can share the sheet with you. You need to give me one moment. I'm just fetching it quickly so that you can have, okay, project viability model. Okay, let me see if you're able to open this. Okay, this docs, I'm just putting it in the chat box. And let me also try to open this and see. Okay, see, actually only few people, if you're not able to open, don't worry, you can save this link for later. Okay, so what you will see is here. Okay, I've given you some. Yeah, I'll post this one more time. People are asking for one more time. I'll post this. Okay, so this is view only. If you want to create a copy, okay, you can't make a copy also. I'm just giving it to you. I'll put that in the Telegram group, okay, so that you can save it. See here, the criteria is sponsorship, okay, corporate alignment, data, definition of defect, stability, customer benefits, timeline, solutions, implementation. You can read this. I'm not going to read all this, okay. For example, let's say this 200%, okay. What is sponsorship means, okay? That is, the project is likely to be sponsored. Okay, data is available. Okay, definition of defect. You're clearly able to define what is a defect. Okay, stability and all that stuff. Okay, I'm not going to read all this, but I just wanted to highlight. And then weightage you can give, which whatever is important, you can give the weightage to this based on the current. If you have sponsorship, most likely no, you can give it here one, wherever it is. Accordingly you can give here possibility. Okay, so if there is a high probability, you can give a 1 here. So accordingly you can multiply this weightage into, and of course this weightage is arrived with the team, and then each of these projects, okay, you can see and then arrive at final number. Okay, you can add all these and say, okay, what is the number for this project? Here in the next sheet, I've given the steps also. Step 1 is, once a matrix is completed, each team must calculate and compare. All the steps I've given, divide by 3, converted this, all that steps I've given. I'm not going to read this. Okay, this is basic stuff. And at the end of it, you will get a number which is less than 2 means not viable for DMAIC. If it is 2 to 3 means probably viable, and this thing, right? So if you found this useful, interesting, valuable, you can put it in the chat box, whatever you felt. If the sheet was useful, interesting, valuable, I will see how to give you opportunity to actually, edit the sheet. Edit means at least make a copy of this sheet, okay? I will try to see if you can make a copy of this sheet and have a copy with you, okay? Okay, I'll give you an option to make a copy and this thing. So what I do is I request you to be a part of this Lean Champions. I will post it in this community of Lean Champions, okay, in Telegram, so that you will get a. If you want, I can do it right now. Just a moment. Can I do it right now so that you can wait? Take a minute to do it. Okay, I'm doing it right now. I'm making a copy of it so that you can actually make it editable. Okay. Okay, I'll stop with everyone and I will share, restrict anyone with the link. Okay, no, not edit. I'll put it view so that you can you can make a copy of that. Okay, so let's see if you are able to make a copy of this. I will also try to see if I've made a copy and trying to see if, yeah, file, make a copy. Yes, you can make a copy of this sheet. Yeah, if you're able to make a copy, say yay in the chat box, okay? And you can send me thank you messages also. All right, let me come back to the presentation. We have some stuffs to cover today. Okay, so this is a quiz time. How many of you are ready for the quiz? Type ready in the chat box. But this is going to be a tough quiz because it's theoretical, right? Go through the quiz now. Okay, the first question is who should executive leaders work with to identify Six Sigma improvement opportunities? Okay, middle management, Six Sigma experts, frontline employees, customers. Let's see what is the answer that you will give. All right, Six Sigma expert is a correct answer. Most of you answered it right. Congratulations. We'll move on to the next. Second question. What is the first step in identifying viable Six Sigma improvement projects? What is the first step? Brainstorm potential projects, apply business criteria, reviewing the current state data, creating project descriptions. We just saw that now. If you had paid attention, you can answer this question. The correct answer is reviewing the current data. Okay, current state data. Congratulations to all those who typed C, who gave the right answer. Okay, the next question is mark that word not. Which of the following is not a question organizations should ask when reviewing internal external information? What are customers complaining about? What needs of customers have in the future? How many employees will be needed for the project? What processes are known for most rework? Yes, all of you are right. How many employees will be needed for it? That's not what the one first you should ask before even ask for the project. Okay. Now, what should the teams do after brainstorming a list of potential projects? What should the teams do after listing? So, validate assumptions, create a short description of the projects, implement the solutions immediately, or compare the projects with competitor projects. Okay, we start creating a description of projects. Okay, question. What is a key factor to consider when creating business criteria for a project selection? Project location, impact on customer satisfaction, color of project materials, employees' opinions. I think this is the easier one, right? Impact on customer satisfaction. Most of you have got it right. Congratulations, those people who did B. Okay, awesome.